Hey, what's up, guys? This is a series I'm doing about how to work specific muscles of the body, how to make specific muscles grow big. So, for example, I did biceps, specific muscle, triceps, and as well back, which is a group of muscles. But in the back, it was more about lats more than anything. But today I'm going to focus on quads. Because quads is actually four muscles together that work as kind of one. And quads are important because they're some of the biggest muscles in the body, and they're very important for a lot of sports, if not all sports. So running, jumping, lunging, etc. And the other important thing about the quads is the ones that are more fast twitch type 2 fibers compared to a lot of other muscles that they have a high degree of fast twitch fibers in them. So we'll have to train them a little bit differently than just standard working out on machines. So I'll explain all that to greater detail in a minute, but I wanted to just let you guys know about that. And by working the quads, most people think the quads are only responsible, well, a lot of people anyway, for for a knee extension. So for like lifting the bottom part of your leg up, correct? Which is true. There's four quads, that's the name quad, it means four. But one of them is also responsible for hip flexion, so bringing your knees towards your chest. A little bit anyway. It's not like as significant as some other hip flexors, but it's still there. So therefore, we'll have to do not just isolation movements, obviously, but compound movements, which I believe a lot of people do, like deadlifts and squats, but as well other techniques that will help really develop your quads really well, as opposed to just doing nothing but, if you just did nothing but squats and leg extensions and leg press, definitely work your quads really well, but there's more method to this whole thing, which I'll get at right away. So before you even work the quad itself, I believe this is one especially you should do a warm-up to. I think you should do a slight warm-up for everything, but you can get away with a little less of a warm-up and stretching other muscles. So speaking about stretching, before you work out, I recommend doing more of a dynamic stretch, which is more quick, as opposed to like more lengthy, holding a stretch longer, and static stretch, which you do after a workout. So the only difference is more of a static stretch. You hold for over 30 seconds, I would say 30 seconds to a minute, and then you do 3 reps of that, or 3 sets, of holding for 30 seconds. That's what I do. And that really initiates that stretch reflex. But that makes the muscles really loose. So you don't necessarily want a super loose or lax muscle before you start lifting. I don't anyway. You kind of want a little bit of tightness there, I think. That's my rationale. I think there's a lot of research now that backs that up. But that being said, you don't want to go totally cold into some of these lifts. So we start by some dynamic stretching, which is just I just touch toes a little bit. I put my heel up on a squat rack bar and just kind of touch my toes there for a little bit, but always moving, one hand, another hand, cross my legs, touch my toes. So what I was just mentioning are more for hamstrings. So quads is going to be bringing your foot behind your back, stretching that way, etc. So we'll start with that, just very light, loose, dynamic stretching. Next, we're going to do a warm-up before we actually do any lifts, and the one I recommend, which I don't think a lot of guys would even think of, is the box jump. The reason why I started doing box jumps, because I was doing CrossFit. My wife does CrossFit, and in CrossFit we were doing box jumps to deadlifts. It's box jump, and do deadlifts. And what I realized is that box jump really activates that what I'm talking about, the fast twitch muscle fibers, which is going to translate to your lift. So if you do a few box jumps, it's more about activating the nervous system, but as well the muscle and the movement in itself, which is extending your knees, extending your hips. And by doing a few box jumps, you don't even have to do a whole lot. And it's not like you gotta go until to failure or whatever. just almost do like singles of them. Like I'll do a box jump, just chill for a bit, do another box jump, just chill for a bit. And that's a great warm-up before you do anything that involves or knee extensions, 100%. Because, like I said, it initiates that fast twitch type 2 muscle fibers that you're going to use, and it as well has like a nervous system activation, and it's just going to help your mind connection in the movement. So that's essentially the warm-up you can do just to start your leg day, but this is going to be a quad focused leg day. So to start the quad focused leg day, what we're going to do is start with squats, but not normal back squats. What we're going to do is 3 working sets anyway, of the hack squat I position my feet a little bit down on it, so that you got it right in the middle. If you put it up, it's more working the posterior chain, like glutes, kind of hamstrings too. But if you bring them all the way back, it works like totally quads. But I just bring them a little bit back, like halfway back, okay? And do 3 sets there. And don't even go to failure, okay? Don't go to failure. Don't lift too heavy, but enough where you get a pump. For me, I think something you can do around 12 reps is going to be ideal for this one. 12, 15 at most. That way you're activating your quads a lot. Second of all, we're going to do another squat. Now we're going to do front squats. I do them like this, 3 sets, okay? So you might ask, well, isn't front squats a lot like that hack squat? Yeah, it's same, but different. And I believe the front squat, because of the load is more in front of you, it works your anterior chain, which is going to be quad dominant, but it also has a lot of other benefits. But as well, it's going to work the core, and it's going to work, like I said, the quad part that crosses your hip joint as well. Okay, so that's what we start with quad dominant exercise. And then this isn't going to be a complex exercise. Next, we're going to go to exercise routine. Next, you're going to go to the leg extension machine, and you're going to do 8 sets. Okay? And every time you start kind of low, you go to almost failure. Leave like 1 or 2 reps in reserve. And then every time you add 20 pounds to it, 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 until you get to a weight that you can't do 5 times. So in doing so, we're not just working like reps, we're working a little bit of strength in that, okay? Granted, if you have bad knees, maybe don't go so heavy, but we're going to be doing lots of leg extensions. And then this is just for quads, like a quad day, because after you've done 3 sets of hack squats, 3 sets of front squats, and 8 sets of those leg extensions, your quads are already going to be pretty good burning. I promise you. But we're not done yet. Hopefully your gym has one of those asphalt things that go across the field. They have like a little asphalt kind of field that people do CrossFit types of, or high intensity interval training on. So we're going to do a little bit of high intensity interval training, which is you get the sled out and you push that motherfucker across the gym a few times. Because through pushing, it works your anterior part of your leg, and that's going to be a major finisher. And the beauty thing about this is it works them very naturally, because when you're locked into a leg extension, yeah, it works it, but when you're actually doing the motion of pushing and like running across the gym a few times, across the asphalt, you're going to activate those quads really goddamn good. I promise you. And that's it. And I'm not even going to give you a final number. I say do that to failure. Do that till your quads feel like they're fucking done. Which might take 5 times. Might be 1 time. I don't know. Eventually you might work up to doing them for more times, but and put more weight on it too. Like I put like usually around like 45 pounds on that sled, and I push it across back and forth. I go back and forth, chill out for a few minutes, back and forth, chill for a few minutes, back and forth, chill for a few minutes. And when you're right on your toes and you're pushing that thing as hard as you can across there and back, That's a good quad finisher. That's one that I don't think a lot of bodybuilders even consider. A lot don't anyway. They just hit machines. Another honorable mention, I guess, would be the leg press. And you can bring your feet a little bit back on that one. But after doing the hack squat and that front squat, I don't even think it's necessary. I think you've already done enough compound movements. I only believe in really doing two compound movements before isolation movements on just doing one specific muscle or muscle group in this case. So that's what I'm going to say. But the front squats is a great one. Front squats is a king exercise. I don't think enough people do enough of those. And the hack squats is great because it really isolates it. Really isolates those squats. And to be honest, you can do those interchangeably in order, front squat and the hack squat. But I like to start with the hack squat machine because it works more of a warm up before you actually you do it light. I don't go heavy on the hack squat by any means, but you can get a little deeper, and then it's almost like a warm up sets in itself for when you go to the hack squat and then you do the front squat and do those real front squat working sets. If you do more front squats, your quads are going to be popping. I promise you in a month. Every leg workout, incorporate front squats. And I guess the very last thing I said is, obviously this isn't going to be a common leg workout you do because it is quad dominant. But it's one you can throw in just like the other ones I talked about, maybe once every 2 weeks, once every few workouts, especially if your quads are lacking, and especially if you're more training, say, to be, I don't know, if you're training for your ski season, or you're training for your soccer season, or skateboarding even, jumping up on fucking high ledges or downstairs and things. You really need quads dominant. Honestly, pretty much any sport, there's going to be quad dominant factors involved. So for training in any sport, it's going to be a good one as well. Okay. So let me know what you think about this particular workout. And the other last thing I should mention is, if you noticed, it started compound movements and then it went to isolation movements. And really, there's only one isolation movement for quads. It's leg extensions, pretty much. But then it went back to compound again. So it goes proximal, distal, proximal. We say in massage, or general, specific, general. So general being multiple muscle groups, specific being one muscle, and then back to general, and then pushing that sled across. You're working a bunch of everything, right? I'll really leave it there this time. Thank you for watching. Let me know in the comments section below what you think about my quad dominant workout. And thank you for watching. Peace.